Hey everyone, today we're diving into Dispatch, a game that's not just about heartwarming stories and tough choices, but also a surprisingly fun little strategy loop. You play as Robert Mecha Man Robertson, the dispatcher at the Superhero Dispatch Network, and your job isn't just picking heroes willy-nilly. Every call matters, and you've got to think about who to send where. Some heroes are strong on their own, but that's not always enough to save the day. That's where the synergy system comes in, and honestly, it's a total game changer. Certain hero pairs don't just stack their strengths, they can amplify them or even change how they work together entirely. Picking the right duo can turn a tricky mission into a smooth victory, while the wrong combo, well, let's just say things can get messy fast. In this video, we're going to break down some of the best synergy pairs in Dispatch and talk about which teams really shine when it comes to versatility, complementary roles, and those sweet synergy bonuses. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking synergy pairs in Dispatch. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The synergy pairs in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Punch Up and Waterboy and Malevola and Phenoma Man. You ever team up two heroes and just think, well, this is going to be interesting? That's exactly the vibe we get when we talk about the Punch Up and Waterboy synergy pair in Dispatch. So here's the deal, this combo only pops up if you decide to cut Coupe in episode 3 and then add Waterboy to your team in episode 4. It's one of those hidden gem if you know the secret handshake situations. Punch Up brings some solid stats to the table, high combat, charisma, and vigor, which sounds great on paper, right? Meanwhile, Waterboy is, well, let's just say he has very selective strengths. His intellect, charisma, and mobility are decent, but he's basically screaming, I need help. Pairing Punch Up with Waterboy is like giving a clumsy puppy a really muscular dog to follow around. Punch Up fills in some of Waterboy's gaps, sure, but it doesn't exactly make Waterboy a superstar. He doesn't just need a buddy to cover him. He needs someone to pump up his own strengths. That's why the Malevola and Waterboy pair usually outperforms this combo in Dispatch. Punch Up is a solid friend, but let's be honest, Waterboy's late game potential isn't fully realized here. Now, switching gears to the Malevola and Phenoma Man synergy pair, this is where things get spicy. To unlock this tag team, you need to cut Sonar in episode 3 and bring Phenoma Man onto your team in episode 4. It's a bit of a sacrifice because Sonar's intellect and versatility are next level, but the payoff can be worth it. Malevola is already a well-rounded hero with high combat and charisma, making him a dependable backbone for almost any team. Then you add Phenoma Man, and suddenly your team looks like it walked straight out of a hero poster. Phenoma Man has some of the strongest starting stats in the game, with high combat, vigor, and mobility. Basically, he and Malevola feed off each other's strengths. They're like peanut butter and chocolate. If peanut butter could punch people in the face and chocolate could fly. The synergy here isn't just numbers, it's the kind of duo that makes you feel like you might actually survive the next dispatch call without losing anyone. That said, this synergy pair does ask for a bit of strategy and a little heartbreak. Cutting Sonar isn't easy, and skipping Waterboy means letting a late game powerhouse sit on the bench. You're basically making a calculated bet that Malevola and Phenoma Man's stat advantages outweigh what you're giving up. And honestly, in the right hands, that bet can absolutely pay off. It's the kind of decision that separates casual Dispatch players from the I know all the secret routes and synergy hacks kind of players. So, if you're looking for a team that's funny, quirky, but also slightly underwhelming, Punch Up and Waterboy will give you some laughs, and maybe some mild success. But if you want raw power and a duo that can carry tough calls like a well-oiled machine, Malevola and Phenoma Man are the dream team. Just remember, every choice in Dispatch has its consequences, and sometimes your hero's chemistry is more important than just raw stats. The synergy pairs in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Malevola and Waterboy and Punch Up and Phenoma Man. Ever notice how some hero pairings in Dispatch feel like a slow-cooked meal? You know, they take a bit of effort but end up surprisingly satisfying. That's exactly the vibe you get with Malevola and Waterboy. This duo only shows up if you cut Sonar in episode 3 and add Waterboy in episode 4. So it's a little like discovering a secret menu item. Malevola brings those well-rounded stats to the table. Combat, charisma, and general I got this energy, which are basically lifesavers for Waterboy, whose stats are, let's just say, less than intimidating. Now, Waterboy isn't exactly a powerhouse on his own. His intellect, charisma, and mobility give him some flair, but without a strong partner, he's the underdog in almost every call. That's why Malevola's presence is almost mandatory if you want this team to succeed. He basically carries Waterboy on his shoulders through the tricky missions. In B tier, it's a decent setup, reliable, solid, and a little funny to watch in action, but don't expect it to break any records. On the other side of the coin, we've got Punch Up and Phenomaman. To unlock this team, you need to cut Coupe in episode 3 and add Phenomaman in episode 4. Unlike the Malevola and Waterboy combo, this pairing has a bit more oomph to it. Phenomaman comes with some of the best starting stats in Dispatch, and by the time you get him, Punch-Up's stats should already be in pretty good shape. Together, they can handle most challenges that come their way. One of the perks here is Punch-Up's hard head ability. This makes him super dependable, and when paired with Phenomaman's already strong stats, the team becomes a solid powerhouse. Basically, it's the kind of duo that makes you feel like you could walk into a fight and actually survive without a single casualty. Of course, it's not all sunshine. This combo focuses heavily on combat and vigor, so their strengths shine mostly on combat-heavy missions. That also means you have to make a choice. No Waterboy for you. If you were hoping to mix in some of his unique abilities later, tough luck. You're committing to a full-on punch-first, think-later strategy here. It's not the most versatile team, but if you're aiming for raw power, this is where you want to be. So, in the grand scheme of Dispatch, B tier has its charm. Malevola and Waterboy are cute, dependable, and a little underdoggy, while Punch Up and Phenomaman are the let's smash things efficiently kind of pair. Both have their merits. It just depends on whether you prefer a team that's quirky and reliable or strong and slightly reckless. Either way, it's a fun problem to have. The synergy pairs in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Prism and Flambe, and Invisible and Golem. You know that feeling when a hero duo just clicks and you can almost hear them high-fiving after every successful mission? That's exactly what Prism and Flambe bring to the table in Dispatch. Prism has this amazing doppelganger illusion ability that literally creates copies of the hero to their left, which sounds like magic, because it basically is. When you pair that with Flambe, whose on-fire mechanic boosts his combat and mobility after a cool success and stacks until a failure, you've got a recipe for some seriously impressive combat outcomes. Both Prism and Flambe specialize in combat, which means this pair shines on those brutal, fight-heavy calls you encounter from episodes 5 through 8. Think of them as your personal superhero tag team, ready to punch, dodge, and intimidate their way through any obstacle. It's not just about numbers, their abilities play off each other so well that it almost feels unfair to the enemies. Almost. Moving on, Invisible and Golem are another A-tier powerhouse duo, but they approach combat in a slightly different way. Both start with strong combat and vigor stats, so you know they can handle a rough and tumble mission. But what really makes them shine as a pair is how their secondary stats complement each other. Invisible's high mobility helps the team move faster between calls, while Golem's charisma makes him excellent for crowd control and negotiation checks. Together, they're surprisingly versatile for a pair built on brawn. Golem's charisma isn't just a stat, it's a game changer. While Invisible is zipping around, reducing travel time, and dodging danger, Golem is keeping crowds in check and smoothing over tense situations. This balance means they aren't just smashing things, they're also smart about it, which is a rare combo in Dispatch. It's like having brains and brawn in the same room without the awkward team tension. The beauty of A-tier synergy pairs is that, while they might not be the most versatile overall, they dominate in their specialty. Prism and Flambe crush combat-heavy missions. Invisible and Golem handle the fight plus some strategic extras. Choosing either of these pairs is basically a commitment to excellence in their niche, and that niche is winning calls efficiently and stylishly. So, if you're planning your Dispatch lineup for episodes 5 through 8, these duos are worth serious consideration. They might not cover every situation perfectly, but in their specialized domains, they're near unstoppable. Honestly, once you get a taste of Prism and Flambe's fiery antics or Invisible and Golem's tactical moves, it's hard to go back to anything else. They just make winning look way too fun. The synergy pairs in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Malevola and Sonar and Punch Up and Coupe. Ever stumble upon a hero combo in Dispatch and just think, okay, this is ridiculously good? That's exactly what happens when Malevola and Sonar hit the field together. This pairing only works if you didn't cut Sonar in episode 3, because otherwise you've missed the boat. And honestly, a lot of players consider this duo downright broken, in the best way possible. Malevola brings healing and utility with portal mechanics, while Sonar flexes with his intellect and transformation skill. Put them together and you basically have a team that can handle almost anything Dispatch throws at you. The beauty of Malevola and Sonar isn't just raw power, it's flexibility. Malevola's healing can keep the team alive through tough missions, and Sonar can adapt to practically any challenge thanks to his versatile skill set. It's like pairing a superhero medic with a genius shapeshifter. You cover every angle. Players who allocate stats smartly according to each hero's strengths will find themselves breezing through missions, often with barely a scratch. Switching gears, let's talk about Punch Up and Coop. This duo is another S-tier powerhouse, but it shines in a slightly different way. Punch Up is already one of the most reliable heroes in Dispatch, thanks to his hard-head ability, which basically makes him undownable. But when you throw Coopy into the mix, magic happens. Coop starts with strong combat, intellect, and mobility stats, while Punch Up doubles down on combat, charisma, and vigor. Together, Punch Up and Coop form one of the most well-rounded pairs in the game. They're not just strong, they're balanced, versatile, and can tackle a wide variety of mission types. Think of them as the Swiss Army knife of Dispatch hero duos, capable, dependable, and ready for action no matter what comes next. If you prioritize their existing strengths and level them wisely, you'll have a team that feels unstoppable. The key thing with both of these S-tier pairs is that timing and choices matter. Miss the chance to include Sonar or Coop by episode 3, and suddenly you're left watching from the sidelines as these legendary duos dominate the field. Dispatch really rewards players who plan ahead, and these S-tier combos are the ultimate payoff for smart decisions. So whether you're into the healing and utility powerhouse of Malevola and Sonar, or the all-around dominance of Punch Up and Coop, these pairs define the top tier in Dispatch. They're the kind of duos that make missions feel almost too easy, but in a good way. Using them feels like cheating, but hey, strategy points count too, right? The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.